and also leave some space if there's questions at the end or anything like that. Personally, for me, one of my favorite books I've been reading in the past couple weeks is called Deacon King Kong. I finished it probably a month ago by James McBride. Phenomenal, hilarious, and heartfelt all at the same time. I loved it. So thanks for your suggestions as well. Some of you know me on this call, some of you don't. My name's Lauren Mueller. This is my second year working at Crosstown High. It's my 7th year teaching in Memphis overall, though. I've taught 11th grade English all 7 years, except for one training year, which I don't really count into my years. I taught 9th grade English. So I really love that age group. And I particularly love teaching AP language. This will be my 3rd year teaching AP language alongside of English 3 or kind of junior level English. So I'm really excited y'all are here. I'm going to just share my screen real quick. And hopefully as I go through, please toss any questions in the chat that you may have. At the end, I want to leave space for us to ask questions, kind of engage with me so that you guys feel comfortable in making your decision about either choosing to join AP language or not. So just overall, this is a pretty wordy description of AP language. If you guys want to take a look at the screen, I pulled this right from the AP website, but it really hits at the core of the course. It focuses on the development and revision of evidence-based, analytical, and argumentative writing, the rhetorical analysis of nonfiction, and the decisions writers make as they compose and revise. So one thing I want to really emphasize here is we're going to be dealing almost entirely with nonfiction texts. That doesn't mean you're not going to read any fiction over the course of your 11th grade year. But for AP language specifically, there's a heavy emphasis on argumentative reading and writing. So if that is appealing to you, this could be a great course for you. It's also, if you guys notice in here multiple times, they compose and revise, development and revision. We'll be doing a lot of writing. So I say this to people, even if they maybe don't want the college credit or a little bit nervous about the test, the course itself is excellent preparation if you are considering going to a college, particularly a rigorous college. We do a lot of writing and I give you a lot of feedback. You can ask the current juniors. It annoys some of them to no end, but it also shows incredible growth in their writing that they're able to really look back on. So kind of 2 big pieces from here, a lot of rhetorical analysis of nonfiction text and a lot of writing and revision. I'll also share this with you at the end that you guys can keep and look back over this slideshow. I should have said that, I'm sorry. AP breaks it down to 4 big pillars. All right, Hannah. So 4 big pillars of skills that you are going to learn over and over and over again and practice in a variety of ways. So there's rhetorical situation, literally what choices does an author make? What claims and evidence do they use in their writing? How is it organized? And like what type of style do they use? So that's everything from language use to tone. So you do that both within reading. You're going to work really on analyzing that. But then, Rosie, you're also going to work on how do I do that as a writer? So it's kind of this cool thing is working to identify it and also working to practice it in your own craft. But everything we do, how the course is structured and laid out is always centered around these 4 pillars. So at any moment in time in this class, you're going to be like, okay, I'm really narrowing in on my evidence. I'm really looking at how this is organized. So those are your big overall skills, which again, in my own teaching of this class and my own teaching 11th graders for a while, these skills translate to your everyday writing and to your college level writing seamlessly. All right, they don't just live within exclusively this course. The test. It's no one's favorite part, but it is how you earn that college credit if you're interested. All right. So again, not always the most exciting thing, but you will be ready for it. That much I can promise you. And so it's 2 pieces. Multiple choice is worth 45%, writing is worth 55%. So we will just focus more on writing throughout the school year. Also, by becoming really deep and analytical readers, the multiple choice will just not be as difficult for you. So you'll do like 5 sets of questions. You guys can kind of read my screen. The writing piece is really what I want to show you. There's 3 essays on the exam. And so those 3 essays we'll be focusing on throughout the school year. And we'll be doing different varieties of them. There's the synthesis, which is my personal favorite. It's where you take 6 to 7 different texts, and those can be images, graphs, they can be news articles, and you have to cite them to support a thesis or to support an argument. So you have to craft an argument out of them. Hannah, I feel like you would particularly love this. Rhetorical analysis is where you get a nonfiction text, whether it's a speech, a news article, and you actually have to analyze, is the author's argument convincing? Why or why not? And how do they convince the reader? And then an argument prompt, where literally you're just given like a question or a quick prompt, and you generate the argument out of your own, what you know, and how I teach you how to write and craft arguments. So that's what the exam looks like, but those are also the 3 big types of writing that we're going to focus on. But again, within those 3 types of essays, you're still going to grow so much in your ability to make a claim and cite evidence, right? To use your own personal author's voice and style, literally in your language use and your tone, all right? And in how you structure and organize your writing. Those are skills that transcend any of those essays and that you'll become hopefully excellent. And if you put in the work to work hard, I can guarantee you will grow in your writing this year. Sorry, I know I'm like sending a lot of information at you, but I will give you guys a chance to ask some questions back at me, and I'll link this in the chat as well. So a few expectations. I will give you 2 summer reading assignments. There will be an intensive. So it'll be 3 mornings. I believe it's July 26th through 28th, where you'll be up at Crosstown and we'll just be going through kind of the basics of AP language. You'll also take a practice exam then, just so you can kind of get a feel of what you're up against and what you're working toward. All right, just setting some course expectations. I will expect you to work independently on some test prep stuff. There's a point in time where you just have to prepare for that multiple choice test prep. It has some of the kind of feelings of an EOC or ACT, where it's maybe not super fun and it's not the most life applicable, but in order to get a high score, if that's what you're after, you got to be good at it. To read deeply and synthesize multiple pieces of text, to respond extensively to writing feedback, to be brave and put things out there. You won't be good at this initially, and that's okay. All right, that's why I'm here to teach you. That's what I'm good at. All right, so I can guarantee you, if you're willing to be brave and try things out and put words on a paper and respond to the feedback I give you, I can help you grow. All right, but it takes having that courage to be like, okay, I'm gonna trust Mrs. Mueller. I'm gonna listen to my feedback, and I'm gonna keep going again and again, and I'm gonna share with my peers, and I'm gonna help my peers get better. Also participating in discussion. That's more of a moot point, but I love to have discussions prior to writing so that our brains are full of ideas. So those are just some expectations. This is the more practical thing of like, how's this gonna look? When you sign up for classes, how is this gonna look, Hannah? You'll receive your junior level English credit using AP language. So you don't need to have, there's no extra class you need to take. This course will be fully integrated with the other juniors. So you'll be in a class where some people are taking English 3, you're gonna be taking AP language. That will work out in a few ways. You're gonna get differentiated writing assignments. So though you might have similar text, I might be giving you an additional text to look at and also giving you a differentiated writing assignment. All right, we also have, you're gonna get some feedback based on AP rubrics. So I'll be spending more time giving you guys really specific analytical feedback on your writing and getting you some more chance to meet with me and discuss that. I'll also be creating a Canvas course for you that'll be kind of self-guided. I'll be organizing everything on the College Board website so it fits in with our class. So you can kind of work through some of that college prep stuff, or not college prep stuff, that test prep material as we're in class. So that's one of the things. Last but not least, and then I'll happily open this up for questions. I'll also give you the form if you're just interested. Also, putting your name on the form doesn't mean you like have to sign up for the class. It's just showing an interest in signing up for it. But this is really what this class will be centered around. Do you have a passion for understanding arguments and the rhetoric of them? All right. Do you love to maybe make a claim, try to persuade people? If that is you, this is a great class for you. Or maybe you're wondering why people on social media are persuaded by fake news, are persuaded by things that people say. This is a great class to analyze this. Are you analytical? Do you love to pull things apart and make up meaning? Are you in for a challenge with expanding your writing? I know I said this before, but if you put in the work, you can really become an excellent writer this year. And also, do you just want to be a part of a small supportive community of people wanting to grow in their writing and their analysis? If so, this is the right class for you, all right? So with that being said, I'm going to put the interest link in the chat. I'm also just going to open it up if you want to put questions in the chat or if you want to unmute yourself. Please do just give me 30 seconds to put the interest link to this course. in the chat. Let me find it real fast. Sorry, I should have had this up before. All right, so I have the link to the form in the chat. Asa, I would still fill that out, and you and I can email about your question about the summer intensive separately. So, because I can find a way either to film that or to build that out in Canvas for you. She asked about if some of the dates of the summer intensive didn't work for her. You don't have to worry about the overlap. Great question. We scheduled it so I will be in the morning. I'll be 9 to noon. Students will have a lunch break, and then there'll be an afternoon for the biology intensive. Yep. So we coordinated with that.
Do you have any examples about like what types of book we will be reading? I know you said like nonfiction, but like is it like more bibliographies or yeah?
That's a good question. So I like to do what I've done in the past, and this will look a little different because obviously last year AP language was online. So good question, Hannah. Sorry. I love to take create a set of text. So whether it's a set of like news articles around a topic. So whether that's like gender or race, I'll compile a variety of articles or like magazines around it. And that's usually kind of what we'll read. I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, and then we just like create some sort of synthesis essay or something
Yes,
like that.
yeah. Then usually you'll like piece them together. Like sometimes we'll write an essay about one of them and then use some of them for an entire synthesis essay or have a discussion around maybe the different viewpoints and how those arguments were made. I love to specifically choose articles that have like conflicting viewpoints so we can analyze the rhetoric of them and like why they're effective or why people should believe which side of the argument. Yeah, so usually you won't have like a set book, if that makes sense. Like I won't hand you a book at the beginning of the year, but I'll have a lot of collections of text sets for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, great question in the Mullen family. The integration of the AP, so they will be in the same class. So what that'll look like, and that's just part of Crosstown wanting to stay true to being diverse by design and not creating these like tracks of students where we have certain students that never interact with other students. It'll look like a few things. That's why we're having the summer intensive so that I can just kind of work and prep those AP kids for some language that I'm going to use in their assignments, for some skills that I'm going to look for in their assignments. So a lot of times it'll be them reading some similar texts, maybe having discussions or analyzing similar texts as the other 11th graders. But for them, their final, how they kind of synthesize that assignment might look different. So I might give them a different writing assignment. We're also having, our creative writing teacher is going to be a TA specifically just for the AP kids. They'll actually receive double feedback, which I think is really cool. So they're going to get feedback from me, and then she'll actually work with them on just style and language use and prepare them in that way. So they will get some like additional support and resources for that. I'll also use, like I said, I'll have that Canvas course for them as well. That will be specifically test prep. That'll probably get rolled out more in the spring, but that's how that's going to look. So yeah, and if you continue to have questions about that, please reach out to me because I want you to feel comfortable about needs being met for those 8. Any other questions for me? I know I talked a lot just at people. Bad teaching. If not, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put my email in the chat. So if you think of stuff, please feel comfortable approaching me. I'm also going to put this PowerPoint slide in the chat, and this meeting is also being recorded, and you'll be able to receive a copy of this meeting too. So if you're like, what did she say? I got you. So there's my email, and then let me link the slides in the chat for you all as well. All right, so slides are in the chat, my email's in the chat. Thank you for coming tonight. I know this is kind of fast and furious. And like I said, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm excited for those of you students on the call to hopefully have you next year, and parents that you trust me with your students' growth. So please feel comfortable to reach out. But have a good night, y'all. Thank you. Julie, I'm going to pause our call. Do you have a question for me or anything?